Algeria, Russia.
So into the red corner is DJIBRIL Traore, 21-year-old from Mali, the 2024 African Championship bronze medalist. And here he has been absolutely irresistible. 2 wins out of 2 after starting his tournament in a round of 64. And that is the same route that Mohommed USAITH has taken through to the round of 16 stage.
Round 1.
What a contest we have in store here, because it's boxers who bring contrasting styles to the boxing ring. The man wearing red is DJIBRIL Traore, 21 years of age, part of a 3-strong Mali boxing team, the 2024 African Championship bronze medalist. Here at Dubai 2025, 2 wins out of 2, including a 3rd round stoppage victory last time out in a round of 32 against Malachi Katani of Australia, stopping his man in the 3rd round with his non-stop pressure. The man wearing blue, operating out of the southpaw stance, is Mohommed USAITH. He's also 21 years of age. 8 men make up the Sri Lankan boxing team. You can see this tall, rangy southpaw, which got through with a good right hand to the body. He comes to the ring as an Asian under-22 silver medalist from the event that was held in the Sri Lankan capital, Colombo, earlier this year. A round of 64 was a 5-0 unanimous decision of the wide variety over Innocent Mugenga of Rwanda. Gave his opponent an 8 count in round 1, dropped him in round 2, and then he won unanimous point decision over St. Lucia's Kyle Marcel in what was an untidy all-southpaw affair. But here, the styles are likely to gel very effectively for a thrilling contest, because DJIBRIL Traore likes to bring educated pressure over that front foot, but he's being backed up and kept at bay by the long-limbed southpaw sharpshooting of Mohommed USAITH. Running away from trouble by dipping underneath the incoming fire. There's a nice left hook from Traore, and it's really good tactics being implemented here for my money by USAITH, because when you've got a boxer in the mold of Traore who likes to just get on the front foot and back his opponents up, if you can see what a boxer like that, how he fares going backwards. Oh, now that's a shot. I don't think the referee issued the command of break. But if you can make a front foot pressure boxer go backwards and test their skill in that regard, well, that can often reveal or put an entirely different complexion on contest, because by definition, you have to stay in there and put yourself in the way of the punches potentially in order to make the man go backwards. But that is what USAITH is doing here. That's the bell for ring A. We're in ring B. But a terrific opening round so far of sticking and moving by USAITH, letting enough punches go with enough authority to prevent the incessant forward movements of Traore. Scored with a good shot to the body, and Traore desperately trying to get onto that front foot and back up his taller opponent from Sri Lanka. But a very good round of boxing for my money, produced by Mohommed USAITH in this tussle between talented 21-year-olds. Some of the action from the first round, and he set his stall out right from the opening bell, did Mohommed USAITH, ensuring that he wouldn't give ground, spinning off the line rather than retreating backwards in a straight line, and used hooks and uppercuts through the middle to terrific effect. Very good performance, and I think he's done enough to take the opening round. And he's taken it on a 4-1 split, judge number 2 preferring the work of DJIBRIL Traore.
Seconds out. Round 2.
So we move into the second round. And having conceded the first on a 4-1 split, this is nothing new for DJIBRIL Traore, because in his opening round, opening bout in the round of 64 against Vinny Mandert, he lost both 1 and 2, only to keep the pressure going and overturn things in the third round to prevail 4-3 on a bout review. He's trying to pick up the pace here in the second, but he's meeting a really dynamic opponent in the form of Vinny Mandert, who's really keen not to concede ground. Look at the way the man is spinning around the clock face counterclockwise, rather than backing up in a straight line, which would allow Traore to unload his heavy leather. Now, you can't run away from your opponent and turn your back, but he is finding escape routes as both men scoring during the course of that exchange. He was a straight shot from Traore, was a hook and an uppercut from USAITH. And Traore beginning to get closer now, as we have just seen 1 minute elapsed in this round. And this is the type of question that Traore is always going to pose. Can you withstand the heat that I'm going to bring to the boxing ring? USAITH have done terrifically, but again, that's illegal, see, because he's turning his back on his opponent. And Traore with a left hook from out of that fusillade that he unfurled. And USAITH standing his ground, letting punches go of the straight variety. But look at Traore, look to break him down to the body with that burst of shots. Overhand right now as Traore begins to continue to get closer. Hooks to the body being slung in by USAITH, and it's a toe-to-toe battle atop the logo in the middle of the boxing ring. But Traore is grinding his way right back into this one. USAITH has got to get back to the sticking and moving that served him so well, and backed up the man in red for the majority of the first round. Of course, it's a very difficult game plan to implement. He did it well for the first 3 minutes. He's got to keep it going, because Traore grinding his way right back into contention here in his preferred territory. Now he's looking to change angles in front of his man as he's looking to walk him down once again. Good left jab and then, good left cross and then spinning off the line from USAITH. But Traore balls him back to the ropes and he's looking to haul in body punches above the belt line once more. Beautiful left jab from Traore. USAITH runs out of his own blue corner to put a gap between himself and his marauding opponent. Good work to the body from Traore. USAITH responding with body work of his own. There's a clipping right hook over the top, followed by a left and another right hand from Traore. Terrific two-way action, and USAITH has given absolutely everything. My goodness, how much is the man going to have left for the third and final round? Because he has expended an awful lot of energy in a bid to try and keep Traore at bay. And in stark contrast in the red corner, Traore is standing, eschewing the stool, and is hardly breathing. I think he's got himself right back into this one. But what say the scoring judges? Remember, USAITH took the first round on a 4-1 split, and I think Traore has done enough to take the second round here. But which way is it going to go? And you saw how USAITH just slumped down onto his stool. It's a good thing he was near his own blue corner, because I'm not sure he would have had the energy to walk to it from the middle of the boxing ring. Desperate to get a look at these scores, because I think Traore is right back in this one. And he's conceded the round, but the distribution of scores means that we have 3 tied scores of 19 points apiece as the bell sounds to begin round number 3. And Traore marches across the ring and helps himself to an overhand right. Has the 60-second interval been long enough for USAITH's energy levels to recover? And we mentioned that in the round of 64, Traore has been here before, having conceded both the first and the second rounds, and yet he still won the contest. And he's looking to make it a case of deja vu here in Dubai, because he is setting about his man with real purpose. USAITH being worked over to both body and head. He's gamely continuing to let his hands go, but his energy levels are dipping, turning his back and running away from trouble once again, and now keen to initiate a clinch. USAITH, who did such a terrific job of backing the man up in the opening round, but it really took a toll on his gas tank, and now he's forced to stand and fight, which is right into the wheelhouse of the 2024 African Championship bronze medalist. Traore scoring with punches underneath. USAITH letting his own hands go furiously, resulting in terrific trade-offs of the most torrid variety in the middle of the boxing ring. USAITH looking to fashion a clinch, refusing it. Is Traore, and he's getting his hands free and just clipping the chin of USAITH, who is showing incredible resilience and resolve and desire to continue to compete and fight through the fatigue that he's feeling. Just beyond the halfway stage of the third and final round, each man desperate to progress through to the quarterfinals and bag themselves at least $10,000 US. But I think that is at the very rear of these boxers' minds now. This is all about the purest form of competition as they try to get the better of the man in front of them. Big intake of breath from USAITH. His gas tank almost running on empty, and continuing to live in the man's chest is Traore, pinning him against the ropes, changing angles in front of him and finding a home for his punches. Well, just getting a gap on that and a bit of a breather on that walk around the ring was USAITH, but look at the slow motion that these arcing punches are coming around with now. Altogether more compact and explosive is Traore. Good right hand brings about a standing count, and DJIBRIL Traore relentless over the course of this final round. So the 10-second clapper sounds here, and Traore marches back into the breach. He's met by USAITH, who desperately tries to back the man up. Punches being exchanged right up until the final bell. What a contest! Absolutely sensational stuff here in Dubai. And I happen to think that DJIBRIL Traore will have done enough to take that final round. The 8 count was a punctuation point. And for the second consecutive bout, well, not consecutive, but for the second bout here at Dubai 2025, DJIBRIL Traore will have lost the first 2 rounds and won the contest. The man's pressure is irresistible, continually taking it to his man. Confidence never dimmed, his conditioning absolutely extraordinary. He knows he's done enough. I think USAITH does too. And both boxers receiving spirited applause because they combined to produce an absolutely classic contest. Now remember, if it's a 3-2, because we had 3 tied scores of 2018, it will be subject to bout review, and that could make things interesting. But I happen to think that the man in red has done enough. Remember, he won his first contest on a bout review after losing the first 2 rounds against Vinny Mandir, and the process has been repeated here. Let's get the verdict. I think the man in red has done enough. But nervous moments for the boxers here.
Ladies and gentlemen, on ring B, after a bout review, your winner by split decision. In the red corner represents,
and it is Traore.
DJIBRIL
Traore of Mali has prevailed on a 4-3 split decision victory, which went to bout review. And for the second time in the championships, DJIBRIL Traore has overturned the deficit after losing the first 2 rounds. He went into the final round with 3 scorecards that were tied, and the other 2 in favor of his opponent, but that an absolutely cracking contest. He went to bout review, and it's a 4-3 victory for DJIBRIL Traore. He's through to the quarterfinal stage. Credit must go to Mohammed USAITH, who played his part in what was an absolutely magnificent contest. He backed up Traore in the first round to take it on a 4-1 split, but DJIBRIL Traore just continued to grind his way into contention, getting closer and closer, and forced USAITH to box his bout for the second half of round 2 and practically the majority of round 3. USAITH took an 8 count in the third and final round, and I think the right man is going through to the quarter-final stage. But what a contest these two men combined to produce. There's the victor, DJIBRIL Traore of Mali.